The dispute between the neighboring nations started recently when Poland enforced a restriction on the import of Ukrainian grains, following the expiration of a deal brokered by the EU. The deal, which ended on 15 September, allowed Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria to ban the sale of Ukrainian grain, which they claim has flooded the European market and undercut domestic grain prices since Putin's invasion, damaging their economies. In a public speech, Ukrainian President Zelensky openly criticizes Poland and almost refers to them as Russia's allies.
And it is alarming to see how some in Europe, some our friends in Europe, play out solidarity in political theater, making thriller from the grain. And they may seem to play their own role, but in fact, they are helping set the stage to a Moscow actor.
Hours later, after the Zelensky speech at UN Assembly, Warsaw announced it would no longer be supplying weapons to Ukraine.
Nie żadnego uzbrojenia na Ukrainę z tego względu, że my teraz sami się broimy w...
Poland has previously sent 320 Soviet era tanks and 14 MiG-29 fighter jets to the war-torn country. Poland has warned Ukraine, saying that if they escalate the conflict, additional products will be added to the list of banned imports. Farmers in Eastern European countries have complained that the surge of Ukrainian products has decreased prices and diminished their sales. The prime ministers of Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria wrote to the European Commission, saying that the increase in shipments had been unprecedented and tariffs may need to be reintroduced unless the influx could be stopped by other means. It's an election year in Poland. The matter has caused political problems for Poland's ruling nationalist Law and Justice Party, since it has enraged residents in rural areas where PS support is very high. According to an Ipsos poll, in Poland's last parliamentary elections in 2019, 56.4% of people in the countryside voted for PS, while 16.9% voted for KO. Since the war began, around 17 million tons of major agricultural products have left Ukraine by truck and trains, most of it's via the border with Poland. Data issued by Ukraine's Farm Ministry shows that the products include 8 million tons of corn, 2.2 million tons of wheat, 1.47 million tons of rapeseed, and many million tons of other agricultural products. Prior to their closure during the start of Russia's invasion in February of this year, due to fears that Russia may use the ports to land troops, Ukraine's Black Sea ports were its primary means of exporting agricultural products. In response, 3 Ukrainian ports were reopened, an agreement approved by the UN to provide a secure export route in an effort to address the world food crisis. Ukraine, one of the world's largest exporters of grains, has had to turn to land routes and expand trade through small Danube river ports. Ukraine is now forced to transport as much grain as possible through Eastern Europe because the simplest land route, north through Russian ally, Belarus, has been virtually cut off. The European Union, to facilitate this option, announced a 1-year suspension on import tariffs for Ukraine. Kyiv is considering suing Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria over their bans on Ukrainian agricultural products. However, these 5 Eastern European nations, including Poland, are not willing to allow Ukraine to flood their grain markets, drive down prices, and put hundreds of thousands of farmers from these countries out of business.